50 lakh worth of USD to INR, approximately get around 27,000 rupees less. They didn't help in the problem, whatever the customer was facing. A salary eligibility greater than I think 2.5 to 3 lakh per month. If you have a total relationship value of greater than 40 lakhs, which is if you hold a home loan value greater than. So you just landed a job in tech. The salary is hitting your bank account. Maybe you've got stock options. But then comes the biggest decision, right? Which salary account to go for? Which bank do you go with? If you think they're all the same, you could be leaving thousands or even tens of thousands of rupees on the table every year, especially when it comes to selling your company stocks or the credit cards they might offer you. So for this video, I spent a lot of time researching, right? I talked to a lot of people here in Bangalore, software engineers that are here in my network, trying to get their unfiltered raw feedback into how their experiences have been. Maintaining these different salary accounts with different banks. So we're going to try and break it down for you in this video. Okay, so we're combining all that data to find the best salary account for techies in 2025. Let's get started. Alright, so when we talk about the best salary account, it's not just about it being a zero balance account, right? For a tech employee in India, especially if it's a foreign-based MNC that is hiring you, there might be different factors, right? So let's break it down into 4 factors. First and most importantly, right, it's the Forex Conversion Rates. So if you're working in a company that gives you stock options in a foreign currency, there will come a time where you will sell all of those stocks and bring them back to India. Now, a lot of these different banks will offer you different rates that they will give you when this currency is converted back to INR. Okay, so we're talking about the interbank rate, right, the IBR, and how many paisa below the IBR is the bank willing to buy that foreign currency from you. Okay, so let's put this into perspective, right, with a real example. Let's say you're selling a whole bunch of stocks and you're bringing 50 lakhs worth of INR back to India in the form of USD. Now, USD to INR is, let's say the interbank rate at that point of time is 85 rupees. And let's say there are 2 options. One bank is offering you IBR minus 3 paisa. So he's going to offer you 84.97. And the other guy is offering you IBR minus 50 paisa, which again is quite a probable rate that you might get. So that will come out to 84.5. Okay, so in the first case where the bank is offering you IBR minus 3 paisa, you will get around 49 lakhs, 98,000, something around that figure in your bank account when you convert 50 lakh worth of USD to INR. And in the second case, if you calculate that, you will approximately get around 27,000 rupees less than what we got in the first option. I mean, so 27,000 not a small amount of money, right? Like you could do a round trip flight booking or just spend it on the latest smartphone, right? So yeah, you need to choose wisely when it comes to the salary account. Alright, so the second factor we're going to be looking at is the digital process, right? So we work in tech, right? I cannot tolerate buggy software and bad UIs and chunky software. So that is one thing that I'm going to be focusing on as well, that how smooth the online net banking, phone banking process is. Alright, so the next factor we're going to focus on is the credit cards, the perks, the lifestyle rewards that the salary account may bring you as well. Because when you open a salary account with them, I have covered this in a previous video as well. This is probably the easiest way to get your first credit card. And it's very important that you get into the right system very early. So that is something we will compare as well. Okay, and for the fourth factor, it's going to be the customer service, right? So whenever something goes wrong, is your relationship manager just another useless contact or is he actually a problem solver? So we'll look into all the feedback that I've gathered from people and try to find out the feedback for each bank as well. Alright, let's go bank by bank and review all of these 4 factors in those banks and try to find out which one works best for you. Okay, so let's start with probably the most common salary account bank out there, right? This is HDFC Bank. And I think a lot of people start out with HDFC and it's a very reasonable choice as well. Okay, so coming to the first factor for HDFC Bank, right? The inward remittance rates that we talked about earlier. Now I've heard people getting as low as IBR minus 5 paise. Some people have also said that they got IBR minus 7 paise. Good thing about this is that a lot of people have confirmed this and they have verified that okay, this works. They are consistently getting this rate, which is not the case for a lot of the other banks. So this is one of the best rates that you can get among all of these banks. So the first factor for HDFC really passes with flying colors. Coming to the digital experience in HDFC Bank, actually this is something that has changed recently quite a lot. Like earlier, their net banking was like pretty bad. The UI was very bad, and I don't think there was an app for it as well. You had to have your laptop or go to the browser in your phone. But now you have a dedicated mobile banking app which has net banking, NEFT, all your big transactions, your UPIs, you can hold your credit cards in that app. So it's like a all-in-one solution, and I really like the UI as well. So I think even in this category as well, HDFC has done really good to revamp its system. Now coming to the credit cards, the entry-level credit cards HDFC provides are really good, right? The HDFC Millennia and the Regalia Gold, these are cards that if you are able to get your hands on when you start out, it's like great. And like from HDFC Regalia Gold onwards, you get access to the Smart Buy portal as well, which it was one of its kind. But recently, a lot of other portals have come up. ICICI has come up with iShop, even IDFC, iShop, all of them have come up with accelerated reward portals of their own. So now they've got competition. Coming to the premium credit cards, right? I think HDFC has reduced giving out these cards a lot. DCBs, the Diners Black, the Infinias. So I think in that case, it's a little difficult to climb up the ladder in HDFC. But it's still a very good ecosystem and a very good rewarding ecosystem, right, that they've built. So in terms of that as well, I think it's doing really good. Okay, coming to the fourth factor for HDFC Bank, right, the customer service. This is the feedback that I have talked to people and I've gone from them. This is only a limited data set, but what I've heard is that the experience of people is quite inconsistent, right? Sometimes people have found their relationship managers to be quite helpful, but in 80 to 90% of the cases, I've heard that them being completely pointless, and they didn't help in the problem whatever the customer was facing. So the feedback has been really inconsistent and more on the negative side. So I guess this is probably something they need to work on. Okay, so next up on the list is ICICI Bank, right? Let's go over the 4 factors for ICICI Bank. Coming to the first factor, how are their forex rates? So on paper, it seems that ICICI has actually beaten HDFC, because I've heard people getting IBR minus 3 paisa as well. Now again, this is completely dependent on your relationship with the bank and how you are able to get this through your relationship manager. But the fact that I've heard people get this is quite insane. IBR minus 3 paisa is a very good deal. And yeah, I think so in that case, for the first factor, ICICI is right there, if not better than HDFC. Okay, coming to the second factor, the digital experience in ICICI Bank. So this was something that ICICI has always excelled in. Like even before HDFC came up with these good net banking and mobile banking apps, ICICI always had these apps, and they have worked seamlessly for me for a couple of years, for the last couple of years. And so I know this is my personal experience as well, and yeah, so in this case also ICICI is doing a really good job. Third factor for ICICI Bank, right, the credit cards and the lifestyle rewards that they're able to offer you. Now this is something that I do have a bit of a complaint with ICICI, because unlike HDFC, where there are entry level cards that give you access to the Smart Buy portal and you're able to get a decent reward rate from those cards as well. In ICICI, they did recently launch the iShop portal, which gives you 6x accelerated rewards on flights and 12x on hotels. But unlike HDFC, ICICI only like the reward points are only like really considerable of value in the ICICI Emerald Private Metal card, and which is like very hard to get. It's an ultra premium card which has a salary eligibility greater than I think 2.5 to 3 lakh per month. So yeah, a very less percentage of people are going to be eligible for it. In this case, I'd say that HDFC probably wins, because they have entry level cards that give you access to these portals and get you in this accelerated rewards game as well. Okay. One thing I want to point out about ICICI Bank, right, that it has a tie-up with the India International Exchange, which in short is called INXGA. Now that is a new platform that has come up for Indian residents to invest in foreign markets, and because of this tie-up, like you get a really good discount on the exchange rates when you convert your INR to USD to invest in, let's say, the US market. Like the discount they offer you probably actually covers the extra charges that the bank might charge for that currency conversion, right? So this is something that I found really helpful, and since I've been using India International Exchange for my foreign investing, this really works well with my ICICI Bank account. Okay, so coming to the fourth factor for ICICI Bank, the customer care service. Now again, the feedback in this is a mixed bag, but not as much as HDFC, right? Yeah, I'd say that 60 to 70% of the feedback that I got was very positive for ICICI Bank, and personally for me as well, it's always been positive. So I'd say the customer service is a tad better than HDFC. And yeah, third bank on our list is the HSBC bank, which will give you a more premium experience. If you're a senior engineer or somebody at the top of the ladder, you should definitely look into the premier banking account that HSBC offers. Now it is in a different league of its own, right? So a lot of the benefits that I'm going to be talking about, right, in the next section are directly linked with your account being of premier status. So that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, now coming to the ways that you could actually get a premier bank account, right? I already mentioned that there is one criteria of you having a net salary greater than 3 lakh rupees, and then there are two other options as well. The second option is if you have a total relationship value of greater than 40 lakhs with HSBC. Now this TRV or total relationship value equates to the investments that you've done with the bank, the kind of mutual funds you hold, add to that your bank account balance, any FDs that you have with them. So all of this comes under that umbrella of total relationship value. Also another thing that they provide is a Gift City investment account. Now if you don't know what a Gift City account is, I'll link details for that as well. But essentially it gives you a lot of tax benefits. It allows you to invest in foreign markets. It allows you to invest in Indian markets as well in foreign currencies. So yeah, I think if somebody has a use of it, then this might be a good factor for you as well. And the third option, how you can get a premier account, is if you hold a home loan value greater than 1.15 crores. And this 1.15 crores is amount disbursed, right? So yeah, so if you have a construction linked plan and the disbursed amount is quite less, then that won't work. The disbursed amount should be greater than 1.15 CR, right? So these are the three ways that you could get an HSBC Premier account. So coming to the first factor, the Forex rates that they might be able to offer you. Now again, this is a mixed bag, right? It completely depends on your relationship with the bank. For example, with somebody with the premier banking status might be able to get as low as IBR minus 3 paisa, and this is something that I've heard from somebody that they were able to get this rate. And for example, let's say me, right, I don't have any savings account with HSBC, neither premier nor any lower status. I had actually reached out to them and they said that okay, they might be able to offer me IBR minus 15 paisa or around 20 paisa. So right, you can take that example, right, that I don't have any relationship with them. If I just go in and say that okay, I want to do this, they'll obviously offer me a worse rate than somebody with a premier banking account. So yeah, it can go from 3 paisa to upwards of 15-20. So yeah, so coming to the second factor, the digital experience of HSBC Bank. Now this is something that they've excelled in as well. They do have a proper mobile banking app that lets you do all of your mobile banking, your net banking and everything, and it's a very seamless and intuitive app, and yeah, I've gotten very good feedback on this from people. So I'd say that this is very top tier as well. Okay, so now coming to the third factor, the credit cards and the lifestyle that the HSBC will offer you. This is a very recent change that HSBC has done. They always had the credit cards, but recently they have launched their accelerated rewards travel portal, which gives 6x on flights and around 12x on hotels. Now the reward rates on this are absolutely insane, because if you hold an HSBC Premier card and you are able to maximize your reward points by transferring them to the right transfer partner, which will give you like the best reward, like value for each point. So then and this is quite an insane number, you can actually get up to 72% back as reward points on hotel bookings if you optimize them and transfer them to a call. But obviously this is like the best optimization, but even the base 12x reward, it will give you like 36% back. Now if you transfer those 36% points to a core, then it transfers to 1:1, and a core point value is around 2 rupees. So that is why I'm saying that you might be able to get 72%. But yeah, I mean, these reward rates are insane because of the new accelerated reward portal that they've launched. So yeah, as I mentioned, even in the credit card game, like they have really stepped up this year. And again, if you are able to get this premier account, then that will give you the premier credit card, and even the second credit card below the premier card, the travel one card, will give you insane returns. So that will give you 24% on hotels, which will again translate to 48% if you transfer it to a core and so on. So yeah, I mean, both of these cards are really amazing, and if you're eligible for it, then yeah, then you should go for it. Coming to the fourth factor for HSBC Bank, right, the customer service. Now this is something that is like, I've got glowing feedback from people, because like people have said that it's an amazing experience. They have, you know, top end RMs, and you know, the bank staff is amazing. Someone mentioned that, you know, they have like these huge cafes in their banks, that like there are no queues. You just sit around, sip on your coffee and get your work done. So yeah, I mean, this is something that I've gotten zero negative feedbacks, and I think it's the most premium experience you can get as a banking partner. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, considering all these points, you might be thinking that, okay, this is a no-brainer. HSBC is the way to go. But all of these features, as I've talked about, comes with the premier banking status. I mean, so if you meet the criteria for the premier banking in any of the three ways that I have talked about, then HSBC is the way to go. It's a clear winner in 2025 after they've launched their rewards portal with their banking experience, their credit cards, and the extra features that the account comes with. So yeah, I think from the three that we have talked about till now, HSBC might be the clear winner only and only if you are able to get the premier account. Otherwise, the other two are clear winners because they provide entry level features that HSBC does not, right? So yeah. Okay, so the next and the final bank we're going to be talking about today is Axis Bank. So directly jumping onto the first factor, the Forex rates. Now the feedback that I've gotten is very bad. So basically, I think I have not heard anybody get a good rate. People have talked that Axis offered them IBR minus 50 paise, IBR minus 80 paise, which is like a huge difference to the rates that the other three banks might be able to offer you. And if this is a big expense that you do yearly, that you might, you know, sell your stock options and bring the money back to India, then this is just something that you cannot do, right? That you'll just be losing tens of thousands of rupees on a yearly basis. So if this is one of the factors, then yeah, Axis does not do a good job in that. Okay, so for the second factor, the digital experience Axis Bank provides is really good. I have also been an Axis customer for the last year, I think, and the app is very intuitive. All of your mobile banking, net banking requirements are met. You can use like manage your credit cards, you can manage your home loans in that one app. So it's really nice. So I'd say the digital experience on Axis is really good. Okay, so coming to the third factor, the lifestyle and the credit card benefits. Now this is something that Axis really shines in, because the kind of ecosystem that Axis has built over the years for the reward point exchange programs between a whole bunch of transfer partners is really amazing, right? Yeah, and like HDFC, Axis as well has a lot of entry level cards that give you really good reward rates. Like for example, you have Axis Select, and then if you want to move up the ladder, it's Axis Atlas, which was maybe the best travel card till date. But then the HSBC cards have come in, and unfortunately they've stopped issuing Atlas as of now as well. So yeah, but Atlas was a really good card as well, and they also give you the ultra premium cards like the Magnus Burgundy card. Yeah, so overall they have a really good ecosystem, and they have credit cards for every tier. So it's really nice. So coming to the fourth factor, right, the customer experience on Axis Bank. Now this is again is kind of a mixed bag, because I personally have had really good experience with Axis. I also hold a home loan with them. The guy that I was in contact with during this process was really nice, and I got the loan disbursed really quickly as well. And apart from that, my mobile banking experience has been really good. Whatever queries I've had, I've been able to resolve. But people have had really bad experiences. Now again, this boils down again to, you know, which RM you have, and you know whether they're helpful or they're not. And yeah, I think the feedback on Axis has been, you know, kind of a 50-50. People have had good and bad both. So yeah, that's what I was able to gather. Okay, so those were the 4 banks that I wanted to cover in this video. As we've seen, there's no best bank for everyone, right? It all depends on your priorities, and I've tried to break them down into the 4 factors. Okay, so for example, if you're somebody that on an yearly basis does bring a lot of money back to India in the form of other currencies, then the forex rates are probably the primary factor for you, right? And in that case, ICICI, HDFC, and HSBC also might be the best options for you. Now, ICICI on paper I have seen has the lowest rate, but this is definitely a point that HDFC has been more reliable. Like for example, that IBR -5 or IBR -7 rate is something that I've heard from a lot of people that they were able to get. Now, the rate that on paper ICICI has offered to just a couple of people I know is IBR -3 paisa. And for HSBC, it's a completely different thing, right? Like if you're not a premier banking account, then don't even consider it. Like because then they will offer you upwards of IBR -15-20 paisa. So if you're a premier bank account, then you might be able to negotiate a good offer. But if not, then yeah, then that does not make sense. If you're looking out for the best credit cards and the lifestyles that they might be able to offer you, then you know HDFC, Axis, and HSBC really shine through. Now again, important point: HDFC and Axis both have entry-level cards that can get you started, and they're not very hard to get. But again, HSBC comes with a pill of poison that you need to be above a certain threshold, or you need to have an existing relationship with them, and then only you can get into the actual rewarding cards, right? So yeah. Okay, now coming to the best service, right? Again, HSBC Premier is unmatched, but I don't want to talk about that a lot because that is something that is really hard to get. Now coming to the banks that actually a major chunk of our population will use is HDFC, ICICI, and Axis, right? Now in these 3, if I had to rate them, and I personally have accounts in all of these 3, so I can give my personal opinion on this. So I'd rate that Axis and ICICI are probably the best in terms of customer service, and then HDFC comes. I won't say there's a huge difference, but this is what I've seen in terms of the customer service, the way people talk to you in the banks. I think Axis and ICICI are a little bit above HDFC. Okay, so basically in an ideal world, what I would recommend you, if you're able to get this, is to hold a salary account with one of these banks like HDFC or ICICI, and then get a savings account through the other 2 options in HSBC. Like if you're able to get a TRV of greater than 40 lakhs, or if you already have a home loan, then maybe you could consider getting it shifted to HSBC. And if that gives you access to the premier banking account while also holding a salary account with HDFC, that gives you like a good inward remittance rates for the money that you bring back to India. And I think in an ideal world, this is the best case scenario. But I understand, including me, a lot of us will not be able to do this and qualify for all the eligibilities that these banks have, right? And in that case, here is my alternate approach, right? So hold a salary account with either HDFC or ICICI. They will give you good forex rates if that is a factor for you, and they both have great credit cards as well. In the credit card section, I'd say HDFC is a bit better. And then if you can try and get the Burgundy status of the Axis account and hold a savings account with them. So you don't need to be a salary account holder in Axis to have a Burgundy account status. I think you need to have a TRV greater than 3 lakhs, and if you are able to manage that, then that is great. So you will get all the Burgundy benefits of the Axis, and then you'll also have a salary account with either HDFC or ICICI. So I think this is a more real world scenario, and if you're able to do this, then you'll probably optimize for a lot of things, right? Because Axis will offer you good credit cards, HDFC will also offer you good credit cards, and you're opening a lot of options for you. Okay, so I understand if that was a lot, but I think it's very important that you get started with the right bank initially when you're starting out with your job, and because the relationship you build with that bank really comes in handy in the future. if you're out for looking for home loans or whatever. Okay, so now I want to hear from you, right? This video was based on the feedback that I gathered from people. So if you can, please go to the comments and tell us which bank do you use, tell us the pros and cons that you've experienced in that bank, and let's try and build a good community here. Okay, so drop a comment below. Let's build the ultimate guide for the tech community. And thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and see you in the next one. Thank you.